Today I'm going to be making a meatloaf. So first thing, I have a medium-sized bowl and I cracked an egg. I'm going to just whisk up that egg to break up the yolk a little bit. Next, I'm going to add in some Parmesan cheese. Just eyeball it. I'm going to add some salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. Just a little sprinkle. If you want to cut up fresh garlic into it, by all means you can. And then I'm going to chop up an onion. Just peeled my onion, rinsed it, and I am going to chop up the onion and add to my mixture. So here we have my onion. I'm going to cut it into 3 slices. Then I'm going to cut the onion in half, and I'm just going to cut small slices. And do the same the other side. I'm gonna just look for any kind of big pieces and just give it a cut. Okay. To add that chopped onion into the bowl. And what I want to do is mix everything together. Now, going to add a little bit of sauce, just opening up a jar of sauce, whatever sauce you like, and going to eyeball it and add in a good amount. This is tomato basil. I'm going to stir everything together. I'm going to add a pound of that ground beef and I'm going to break it up. Now you can use your hands to do this. I'm just opting to use the fork. But I'm going to break up that ground beef and then I'm going to mix in all of my other ingredients together. If you prefer turkey, ground turkey, you can certainly use that in place of the ground beef. Okay, you just want to thoroughly mix it so that everything is evenly distributed. I'm just going to add a little bit of sauce back to it. Now I keep the sauce handy because I really just eyeball it, and I may add in more as I go. And the last thing that I'm going to add is breadcrumbs, and this is the part where I eyeball it. I add the breadcrumbs because I want it to hold it together, but I don't want it to be too dry. So if it looks too dry, then I'll add some more sauce to it. So these are seasoned breadcrumbs. They're Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And again, I'm just going to give a mix of everything. Going to add a little more breadcrumbs to this. Whenever I make meatloaf, I'll bake it tonight and we'll have it for dinner, but then what I love to do is refrigerate it, of course, but then the next day slice it up and have it cold as sandwiches. My husband prefers it warm, so whenever I make a sandwich for him, I heat up the meatloaf, but I prefer cold. I think I'm just going to add a little bit of sauce to this. Just a dab more. Give it a mix. Okay, that looks great. Now what I'm going to do is get my my tray that I'm going to cook it in, and I'm going to grease that with cooking spray. And what I'll do is I'll take this meatloaf and I'll pack it and shape it into a loaf. Okay, so I sprayed my tray with cooking spray so it doesn't stick. And now I'm going to add in that meat. What I want to do is now shape this into a loaf. You have to use your hands for that. What I'm looking to do is just get the meatloaf so that it's the same height across so it cooks evenly. Okay, that looks pretty good. And just gonna wash my hands. All right, and the last step for this is I like to place a little bit of sauce on the top. So I've used slightly, a little more than half this jar. This jar is 24 ounces, so I would say I used about 15 to 16 ounces of sauce for this. And I just lay a little bit of sauce down on top and I spread it out to just keep it moist. I like to do that step. I've always done it, but it's up to you. If you don't want to, you could leave that step out. And what I'll do is I'll add a small amount of water to the bottom of my tray so that the meatloaf doesn't stick, just along the bottom, just to coat it. I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil, and I am preheating my oven to 400 degrees. I'll place it in, and this will cook for a little less than an hour and a half. After an hour, I'll uncover it, and this way the top can brown. Okay, see you in an hour and a half. The meatloaf is finished. Just let it sit for a few minutes before you cut it, and enjoy. See you next time. Just wanted to show you when I sliced it what the meat looked like inside. Remember what I told you, your leftovers, refrigerate them, and then you can cut slices and make sandwiches for the next day. Okay, enjoy.